Okay, let's do that, except the opposite. Zenefits was the fastest growing startup ever until they hit a pretty serious wall. And as everyone knows, the most important thing is how you recover. The Hustle, Friday, October 14th, 2016. Admit, fix, settle, and repeat. When David Sachs took over as CEO of Zenefits back in February, the once admired software giant was in turmoil. Among other problems, the founder and then CEO, Parker Conrad, created a program to help sales reps cheat on licensing courses so Zenefits, unlicensed brokers, could sell health insurance. Clearly, the company's ready, fire, aim philosophy and Conrad's desire to grow at any cost had backfired, and it was now Sachs' job to minimize the fallout amidst outrage from investors and investigations by regulators. But that's not what he did. Instead of trying to sweep Zenefits' hard-to-ignore problems under the rug, Sachs took a different approach. Admit, fix, settle, and repeat. The turnaround strategy of this company has been to reject damage control, said Sachs recently. Doing the right thing has been the crisis management strategy. And guess what? It's working. Thanks to the company's transparency with regulators, 8 states have already settled, with more on the way. And with Sachs' new operate with integrity philosophy, concerned investors are, well, less concerned. Lessons to be learned. Look, it's really simple. When you admit your mistake and own up to it, people move on. They also respect you a lot more. Yes, it will make the situation far worse initially, but in the long run, you'll be glad you did it. A company's approach to damage control is crucial, especially in today's social media-driven world where public opinion carries so much weight. An admission of guilt and a plan to change things going forward, story dies in a week. But if you keep putting off that swallow your pride moment, it only gets worse. Paying attention, Samsung? The exploding electronics maker expects to lose about $3 billion due to the Galaxy Note 7 recall, which is a significant chunk of change, sure, but they make hundreds of billions of dollars a year, so financially, they'll be fine. Brand-wise? Now that's a different story. We still don't know what caused the phones to blow up. The initial recall was handled terribly, and it took carriers and stores to drop the phones before Samsung ultimately decided to end production. So listen up, current and future corporate giants. Next time you make a mistake, just own up to it. Take your punishment on the chin and move forward. Looking at you, Theranos, Hampton Creek, Rothenberg Ventures, Twitter, Facebook. It's better that way. Is nothing sacred? Earlier this week, WikiLeaks started publishing emails from Hillary Clinton's campaign chairman, John Podesta. And we aren't just talking about politically damaging information. In fact, the most interesting stuff has nothing to do with politics whatsoever. Like a back-and-forth email conversation between John and a financial advisor about how to make the best risotto. Spoiler alert, add water and stock slowly and not all at once if you want it to be a creamy consistency. Or an exchange with Blink-182's former frontman, Tom DeLonge, about UFOs and government officials who may or may not be skeptics. That's a lot of awkward, but here's the biggest kick in the pants. According to Gizmodo, members of the internet's mysterious black hole, 4chan, found an email containing Podesta's Apple ID and used it to gain access to his iCloud account. Care to guess what they did once they got in? They left John a friendly message, upgraded his storage limit to 50 gigabytes, and synced his contacts across all of his devices. Just kidding. They downloaded all of his iCloud data and completely wiped his iPad and iPhone because humans are jerks. Regardless of where you stand on the political spectrum, you've got to feel bad for the guy. He's getting straight up bullied right now. What's next? A digital wedgie while being forced to write, "I suck at making risotto" over and over on a chalkboard? Give it a rest, 4chan. Twitter, Facebook. Thanks, WikiLeaks. The times, they are a-changin'. After 11 years of the same old song and dance, Pandora pulled the curtain back on a new logo and branding strategy. Something not too hipster, not too country. Just somewhere in the middle that can cozy up nicely to Snapgram, Instabook, and whatever else is on your phone these days. This change comes hours after their new iMessage integration, weeks after announcing their $5 Pandora Plus, and almost a year after acquiring Radio's tech and talent. Clearly, they're up to something. Pandora set up to go head-to-head with Apple Music, Spotify, and now Amazon Music Unlimited in on-demand music, which explains the rebrand. Maybe they're too late to the game and users already have brand loyalty, but what's for darn sure is that old Pandora logo makes 100 Pandora logo 100% makes you think internet radio and not internet play whatever song I want. Now, it's easy to do some eye rolls when designers talk about new logos and how they wanted to capture what music looks like. Yes, that's actually what they set out to accomplish. But rebranding has a purpose. It's a way for companies to start anew in people's minds, and after over more than a decade and now a much more competitive landscape, it was high time for Pandora to change their tune. Twitter, Facebook, get it? Got it? Good. Making chess more like poker. There's no luck in chess. It's all about memorizing existing strategies, not skills or improvisation. As a result, a beginner has basically no chance against an experienced player, which sucks for everyone. Beginners never fall in love with the game. Experts have to visit Tinder for chess players. Doesn't exist, probably should, to find a competitive matchup. Poker isn't like that at all. It has a certain amount of beginner's luck built right in, so a first-timer can sit down with a group of pros and win some hands either because they get lucky cards or the other players can't understand their mindset. Introducing really bad chess, a more poker-esque chess. Yesterday, game designer Zach Gage launched Really Bad Chess, a new iOS game that features all the same pieces and rules as standard chess, but mixes things up by giving you a different set of pieces every time you play. Maybe you get a couple extra rooks. Maybe your opponent's second row has 4 knights and a queen. Thanks to the randomness, every game is different and requires creativity and experimentation. End result, a game that's much faster and more offensive than standard chess, but also one that's more approachable. And while Really Bad Chess doesn't explicitly educate players on the original version, there's no denying that it helps them appreciate and understand it more. This is the part where we usually come up with a witty conclusion, but my brain's fried, so here's a chess-related video from the greatest show in TV history instead. Twitter, Facebook, something checkmate. Tell us what you think. Thanks to everyone who sent us pictures yesterday. We got about 10 times more than expected, and we will get back to everyone today. In the meantime, let us know how we're doing in this short, semi-regular survey. Do better. Good stuff. Friday shower thoughts. 1. I don't think I've ever confidently used a semicolon in my life. 2. Watching a 2-hour film on Netflix is too big of a commitment, but 4 episodes of a TV show? No problem. 3. One of my greatest fears is that someone has written my favorite song, but they're not famous enough for me to hear it. 4. Samsung's Note 7 is probably just AI discovering fire. 5. It's kind of misleading that the Xbox logo is an X in a circle. Via Reddit. The Hustle. Subscribe, advertise, jobs. Kendall, the king of semicolons, Baker. Writer. John Havel. Editor. Hadley Newham, Boston funeral director. You opted in by signing up, entering a giveaway, or through divine intervention. 1381 9th Avenue, San Francisco, California, 94122 in the United States. 415-506-7210. Never want to hear from us again? Break our hearts and unsubscribe.